Time to start another week of television, which is what we do around here, local television anyway. Happy Monday, 23rd day of September 2024. I am Dan Kuntz, first day of autumn. The autumnal equinox early yesterday morning. We're still losing about 3.5 minutes and about 3 minutes and 20 seconds of daylight a day, but we don't go under the 12-hour mark of daylight until Wednesday, but the days are getting perceptibly shorter. But Mother Nature has no clue what's going on because we're going to have summertime temperatures for the next 3 days. We're talking mid-80s today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then things really start changing Wednesday night. The wind will be picking up. The high-pressure ridge will slide off to the east. Weather details are coming up and very windy on Wednesday. But the big story the next 3 days, warm, unseasonably warm for late September. It's unseasonably warm right now. It's 64 outside of our studios. We got a lot of news, sports, the Mariners. Okay, we got this final week of the regular season. They got 3 games in Houston, and they got 3 games at home against Oakland. They're still fighting for the wild card spot. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to win the division. And they lost in a heartbreaking way yesterday, but the Seahawks won. Cougars won a wild one. The Huskies won. A lot of sports to get to. We always do this on the first days of the equinoxes and the solstices. And since this is the first full day of autumn, Bonnie Orr, our friend Bonnie Orr, will be joining us. We went up to Omi Gardens last week to talk about all the things you need to know about lawn and yard care and plant care and all that stuff for the autumnal months. It's coming up. All right, 2 minutes after the hour. Let's go. A lot of things to get to. Busy Monday. Usually Mondays aren't too busy, but this one is. A few high clouds out there. That's about it from our Wenatchee Heights camera. Sunrise 6:50, sunset 6:55. That's pretty easy to add that up. 12 hours and 5 minutes of daylight. For the record, we hit 73 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday. Our normal high is just about 74. So as far as the high temperatures over the weekend, it was normal, but that's going to change today. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. We're off to camera 2, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi division. Lake Wenatchee chimes in once again. By the way, you can fish for coho salmon on the icicle near the Leavenworth Fish Hatchery. They opened that up over the weekend. We'll talk about that when we get to news. I just mentioned it, of course, they had a great salmon season at Lake Wenatchee. Now they're all up in the White River in the Little Wenatchee laying their eggs and going to fish heaven. Good morning to Lake Wenatchee, camera number 3. Ooh, that's beautiful. I want to say that's Stein Hill. I'm going to say it's Stein. I'm going to guess. I'm thinking that's Stein Hill. There's the sun coming up over beautiful Kashmir, Washington. You can see the clouds up there. They're not going to last very long. They're going to be out of here by the time we get to mid-morning anyway. And camera 4, Bear Mountain. Hello, Bear Mountain. Hello, Wapato Point. Hello, Manson. Hello, all you folks up there. Good time to visit the lake. Nobody's up there, and it's going to be warm. Well, I mean, why not, right? Yeah, I mentioned it's going to be windy on Wednesday, and it's going to be windy on Wednesday. Very windy. A more active pattern is going to be blasting in Wednesday afternoon. It's still going to be very warm on Wednesday. We're still going to be in the mid-80s, but the wind will be picking up in intensity, especially in the afternoon and evening hours on Wednesday and into Wednesday night. Very strong winds, especially on the Highway 2 corridor between, say, Waterville and right on in as you head to Spokane and out in the Columbia Basin as well. Everybody's going to have wind on Wednesday. I wanted to let you know. From the National Weather Service, your forecast in detail. Just a few clouds this morning gives way to lots of sunshine this afternoon. High of 86 or 85, right around there anyway. Our normal high is 74, and it's going to be warm. Mild tonight, 60 for the overnight low. Lots of sunshine Tuesday. Record high on Tuesday is 90 on the 24th. We're going to get close to it, but not quite get there. Wednesday, again, sunshine, but then the system comes in. It's going to knock the high pressure right out of alignment. It's going to make things very windy Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night with a high of 85. And then we cool down as this cold front barrels through. Only 73 on Thursday, 53 for the overnight low Thursday night. It's going to start feeling closer to autumn on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lots of sunshine, 0 rain. Our drought continues unabated. We need wet stuff. It ain't coming. We're going to take a break. In 2 minutes, we'll do the news. You're watching a Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Riley Gaines, the All-American female swimmer at the University of Kentucky, is our guest speaker for the Chelan County Republican Lincoln Day Dinner and Fundraiser, September 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Riley's call to action is to defend and protect America's daughters from competing with and sharing locker rooms with biological men. Join us for an exciting evening with Riley Gaines and support our local candidates. VIP event at 5, dinner at 6. Go to Chelan County Lincoln Day at gmail.com for tickets.
Paid for by the Chelan County Republican Central Committee.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Who does Springwater Insurance Group work for? Well, we work for you. Now, some of you think we work for Medicare insurance plans. No, we work for you and your Medicare needs. Now, we are independent agents, and this allows us to teach you about all your plan choices. Now, once we find the most suitable health and drug plan for this new year, we then assist you with your enrollment. We also take it a step further. We provide local, face-to-face customer service at one of our local offices. We provide this service because it's what you want.
Few clouds, 63 degrees. Will be mid-80s today, upper 80s on Thursday, upper mid-80s on Wednesday. Very windy Wednesday afternoon. Then we cool down to where we should be this time of the year by the time we get to Thursday. 7 minutes after the hour, a Douglas County jury took just under 2 hours. That's all it took on Friday to convict 74-year-old Rock Island man of bludgeoning his wife to death in their trailer home back in 2018. Ulili Telelo was convicted just before noon on Friday of both first and second-degree murder and the killing of his 68-year-old wife, Peggy Telelo, who was found dead in her bedroom from multiple skull fractures. The jury of 7 men and 5 women agreed that Telelo acted with intent and premeditation when he killed his wife. She had reported instances of threats and domestic violence from her husband and was making plans to leave him before she died. Telelu remained in jail. He was in jail for more than 6 years while his trial was stalled by multiple appeals and the pandemic. On the stand, he said he was acting in self-defense when he injured his wife. He's scheduled to be sentenced on October 22nd. He'll likely spend the rest of his life in prison. Outgoing Chelan County Commissioner Tiffany Gehring has endorsed Wenatchee property developer Flint Hartwig to take her seat representing the 3rd District. Gehring is a Chelan Republican who was elected to the seat in 2020. She announced back in spring she would not seek a second term. In her endorsement, Gehring praised Hartwig's character and said he is someone who, quote, understands the perspective of those he serves, end quote. Hartwig came in second to Senator Brad Hawkins, both Republicans, during the August primary election. Hawkins got to almost 60% of the vote. Hartwig earned about 16% of the vote. Ahead of the primary election, Hartwig told NCW Life he hoped to utilize his business experience if elected as a Chelan County Commissioner. Speaking of Chelan County, they have registered their disapproval, the commissioners have, of the federal plan to bring grizzly bears back to the North Cascades. On Thursday night, Upper Valley locals did the same. Some of them did anyway. It was the last of 3 community meetings hosted by Chelan County commissioners. This one was held in Leavenworth. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and other agencies involved in the grizzly strategy outlined their plan, and they took some public heat from it as well. Our cameras were there to listen in.
Just to lay it out there right out of the gates, Chelan County Commission has always been in opposition of the reintroduction of grizzly bears in our forest. We don't feel that that's something that needs to be assisted. If they wanted to be here, there's nothing keeping them out. To bring them back in is going to create some issues that I don't believe that we're ready for as a population that's moving further and further out into the woods.
essentially grizzly bears used to be in the North Cascades and now they're not. And the population in the North Cascades was decimated primarily by direct killing by humans, not by habitat loss. And that's really important. The habitat is still there. Within a several decade period in the 1800s, thousands of grizzly bear pelts were taken out of this general area. And for an animal that reproduces very slowly, that's a lot. And we commonly get the question, so if the habitat's protected, why haven't grizzly bears just shown up on their own? You have to go pretty far to the northwest to reach more viable grizzly bear populations. And in order for those more healthy populations of bears to migrate down, they would have to cross a pretty significant amount of man-made infrastructure, including Canada Highway 3, a number of railroad tracks, Metro Vancouver. So all of that infrastructure presents an impediment and part of the reason they haven't migrated down. Recent modeling suggests that the carrying capacity of the North Cascades ecosystem is approximately 280 grizzly bears. That's what the ecosystem is capable of supporting. And grizzly bears are omnivores. We have these ideas from popular media and in our imaginations about, pure carnivores, but they actually eat a significant amount of vegetation, and in some areas, it's a majority of their diet, primarily vegetation. There are hundreds of plant and fungi species in the North Cascades that are found in other areas that are potential grizzly bear foods. Grizzly bears also eat carrion, dead things, insects, small mammals. They may take kills from other predators and occasionally kill large animals.
With over 1.3 million backcountry visits in Yellowstone National Park since 1991 and over 1,000 grizzly bears residing in and around the park, the risk for a grizzly bear attack is 1 for every 1.7 million overnight stays in the backcountry. So while everybody takes the injury seriously, of course, the risk of a grizzly bear attack is minuscule when you consider that amount compared to other risks. For instance, the risk of dying in a motor vehicle crash is 1 in 93. I just wanted to bring that up so we kind of put it all in perspective.
I've been involved with the White River Valley now for 83 years. When I was a lot shorter, this time of year, we used to see bear tracks that were 8 to 10 inches in diameter along the riverbank where the fish were spawning. That ain't no black bear, fellas. Right now, we have got a resident bear, fairly large, suntan colored. On the property, we have one bear scrape that is over 10 feet tall, where a bear has gone up and scraped the bark on a cedar tree. That is not a black bear. I haven't seen a black bear that big. However, that suntan bear we've got there could be.
Has anyone considered how many dead salmon are after spawning in Chihuahua Creek that they will now smell, the grizzly bears will, and eventually walk down into the White River and the Chihuahua drainage because of our supposed wonderful fishing game not allowing us to fish in that creek and river anymore, and it is full of salmon. I was up there the other day and they're already starting to spawn and die off the Chinook in that river. If you can think for 1 second and give me one good reason why you should reintroduce a grizzly bear to the Cascades, I'll pay you $100 right now. There is not a good reason. Don't do it. Please don't do it. I'm begging you not to do it.
Group 14 is a Moses Lake battery technology company. Group 14 is. They're going to get $200 million in federal funding to build a new facility. The funding was secured by Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell from the U.S. Department of Energy. The new facility will help Group 14 produce silane. That's a gas critical for the development and manufacturing of new energy storage devices and advanced batteries. Cantwell and Murray's offices said the largest source of silane gas is in China, and this work will help secure domestic supply chains and manufacturing in the future. The facility is expected to create 300 construction jobs, and once it's built, 150 production employees. Local agencies and programs that fight substance abuse disorders can apply for funds received from the National Opioid Class Action Settlement. Earlier this year, Washington State Attorney General he announced that the state would receive $371.8 million from 5 companies that produced or sold opioids to be divided between the state and 125 eligible local governments. Chelan and Douglas counties and the cities of Wenatchee and East Wenatchee signed on to the settlements. and now they're accepting project proposals to be funded by the dollars that they got. The proposals must include a detailed description of the project, how and where the funds would impact opioid or fentanyl abuse, the amount of funding requested, and a description of how long the project would run. The proposals are due by 4 o'clock on October 11th. For more information and to submit proposals, you can go to our website, ncwlife.com. And finally, the State Department of Fish and Wildlife says the Icicle River is now open for coho salmon fishing. It started just after sunrise on Saturday morning, just upstream and just downstream from the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery. The limited season only applies to coho. If you catch any other salmon, you got to throw it back. Fish biologists say the coho return this year is sizable enough to justify allowing the season, although it may close at any time, particularly if it begins to impact other protected fish species. The minimum catch size, by the way, is 12 inches. Happy fishing. That's the news at 16 minutes after the hour. The news will come your way again tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10 right here on the NCW Life channel. If that doesn't work, it'll be up and running if that doesn't work in your schedule, we'll have our news up and running on our homepage, our YouTube page, our Facebook page. And don't forget, if there's something out there that you think is newsworthy, you get a hold of us by sending us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Sports is 2 minutes away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from Les.
In Digital Media Arts program, we learn about video production gear and editing by the combination of class projects and nonprofit work and employment.
It makes things happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical.
We work in the industry at the Wenatchee Round, NCW Life Channel, and the Town Toyota Center events. Every day we work with industry standard equipment for a hands-on learning experience.
Thank you for trusting Appy's legendary pizza for 60 years. Your hard-earned money supports hundreds of youth working at our parlors, dozens and dozens of nonprofits and school teams throughout the area. At Appy's, doing good in the neighborhood has never tasted so delicious. Can you smell it? It's not arugula and pear. It's bacon, bacon, and cheddar. Yep. Everybody's favorite pizza is back on sale this month at Abby's, loaded with 2 kinds of bacon and real cheddar cheese. Enjoy Abby's September special at a very special price.
Well, the Mariners. Texas rallies from a 5-run deficit 6-5, a walk-off victory for the Rangers over the Mariners on Sunday. That means the Mariners are still 2 games out of the last American League wildcard spot, but they're 5 games out of first place in the AL West, which is 6 games remaining. Seattle closes out the season, 3 games at first place Houston. Then they host the Oakland A's.
Another one for Julio. Make that Randy coming in. Nicely done. I'm telling you, we were raving about the hits in the open, but the defense has been outstanding as well. Big time plays.
It's a tough play because you can't really gauge, especially off a left-handed bat. You get some good plays, gives you a chance just to settle in.
Last night's game.
He had a huge play at first base too.
That's going to work. JT being waved on. JP will hold at second. RBI single Dylan Moore. And the Mariners have a 1-0 lead here in the second inning. Team being hit by pitches. A deep drive. Left field. Going back. Say goodbye. Carelli. Home run number 31. And the Mariners have a 2-0 lead. The big man DHing today. And as per usual, he sparks it for the Mariners.
Now he gets a changeup down and away. Call that his third best option right here. Just get his arms extended. Crush that ball. Dave, we've been seeing more power from Cal this year from the right side.
Cal Raleigh, home run, RBI leader in the ball club. 2-2. Base hit. And it's going to plate 2. Victor Robles influencing another Mariner opportunity. This has really been something for him. Bad finger and all. Knocks in 2. Mariner lead doubled up to 4-0. He's got 25 RBI now.
As Langford hits a ball hard left field. Rosarena looks up. It's gone! Well, there's that Rangers offense. A 3-run blast by the rookie, Wyatt Langford.
Lately, he's been in such a good position with his mechanics that he's ready to hit anything. And if he sees a breaking ball in the middle of the plate early, he's firing. And that was just a missile out of this ballpark to left center.
That ball well struck, deep out to right field. That should tie the game. It's gone! Tavares with his 12th home run of the season, and he knocks this one up at 5. When he gets him, he gets him.
He really does. And this plays right into his bat path, the breaking ball that he catches out front. He's got some pop in there, and he's showing it off right there.
And there's a swing and a ground ball by third. That's a base hit. Here comes Leone. Win it! What a way to wrap up the regular season at home for the defending world champs with their 10th walk-off win of the year.
Simeon looks for it. He gets it in the middle of the strike zone, and he is able to keep it fair just inside the bag at third base to send these fans home happy.
Well, the Mariners open their 3-game series at Houston tonight. Bryce Miller will face Hunter Brown. First pitch is at 5:10 on Root Sports. To the American League West scoreboard we go. The Rangers again beat the Mariners in walk-off fashion. It was the Angels beating the Astros, so the Mariners blew a chance there. Yankees beat the Athletics in the last game ever at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. For the Seahawks, Geno Smith threw for 289 yards and a 71-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf. Zach Charbonneau rushed for a couple of TDs. Seahawks beat Miami 24-3 yesterday. Seattle improves to 3-0 for the first time since 2020. Coach Mike McDonald said the crowd noise at Lumen Field played a role in yesterday's win.
I mean, it was sloppy. Felt like a little bit, operation-wise, which we want to definitely need to address moving forward. But I'll tell you what, our guys played incredibly hard. You got complimentary football towards the end of the game in the red zone. I thought we played really great red zone defense, and then the offense getting that backed up situation was redeeming, to say the least. And then going down and 98-yard touchdown drive to pretty much seal it was pretty awesome. So. Again, just the mentality, how hard our guys are playing. Felt like we played physically. The guys were flying around on defense. Place was electric. So our communication was on point given how loud it was. So I think we gave their operation some trouble. The fans did, so shout out to the 12s on that one. Definitely boosted us on that one. But it's a great win. I mean, it's awesome to be 3-0, but obviously we got a big one coming up too. So. We'll shift our focus after we celebrate today.
Yeah, and the focus is Monday Night Football. 1 week from tonight, they'll be in the Motor City to take on the Lions. The Lions beat the Cardinals, by the way, on the road yesterday, 20-13. To the NFC West scoreboard, the Seahawks have a 2-game lead already just after 3 games. After an unbelievable upset, the Rams beat the 49ers late in the fourth quarter, 27-24. The Rams beat the 49ers. You see the Lions there beat the Cardinals. College football scoreboard. It took 2 overtimes. It was a crazy game in Pullman, but the Cougars pulled it out. They beat the Trojans from San Jose State. The final was 54-52 on Friday night. On Saturday, the Huskies, no problems against Northwestern. Central Washington beat West Texas A&M. Nevada crushed the Screaming Eagles. Well, it took 12 quarters in 3 weeks, but Wenatchee coach Taylor Mitchell finally got his Gatorade tub bath following the Panthers' win over Eisenhower, 42-21. The Panther defense pitched a shutout in the second half. Ryan Branham threw for a couple of touchdown passes. Finn Matheson picked up another TV to make the final score 42-21. Grant Olson, Brandon Harley, and Eric Grandstrom had the call right here on the NCW Life Channel.
3rd down and 2. Matheson again has the first down, spins into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers.
Nice looking power play. Coach Mitchell sees that we have the advantage there with the guard center combo around that. He's run that several times in a row now. And there you go. There's our there's the result.
Panthers take an early lead, 6-0. Spurrier looks right, flushed out of the pocket. Now he's going to keep it left side, use that speed, and just go right into the end zone. Touchdown, Eisenhower.
Or is it 15?
Okay, here's the kick.
15.
By Rios. And it's taken by Benjamin Cook, the wide receiver, and he's got an open field right side. He could take it 30-10. Touchdown, Panthers. Benjamin Cook.
Last week, Ben got a personal foul for a big spike in the end zone, and he just faked it right there and said, no, no, no.
3rd down and goal from the Wenatchee 3-yard line. Cadets trying to push it in. Spurrier almost got it in the backfield, breaks another tackle, gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Ike. Approaching 2 minutes left. Here's Cunningham. No, it's Spurrier. He faked everyone out. He will take it in from 42 yards. Touchdown, Eisenhower.
Inside zone read. Quarterback looks for the end to see if there's a defensive end there. There wasn't anybody home, so he could see it there. Defensive end ran inside, lost contain, and athletic quarterback like that, 42-yard touchdown.
1st down and goal for the Panthers. Branham, the snap, rolling to his right. Plenty of blockers out there in the end zone. You called it, Coach Brandon. Touchdown to Cook in the end zone from 7 yards. For the Panthers. Can get a 1st down.
Same route, there it is.
To Cook, touchdown, Panthers, 6 yards rather. Branham to Cook.
DB lined up inside man coverage. Cook actually threw his hand up to make it look like it was a fade, planted, cut back to the pylon, touchdown.
Bobbled snap, ball still loose, and the Panthers come up with it. Panther football on that fumble. Number 11, that's Austin Vanderkoy.
And Johnny on the spot, right where it needed to be.
Boy, exactly. Here we go, 2nd down and 3. It's Matheson again, left side, strolls into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. Branham, fake handoff. Now going deep into the end zone. Wide open receiver in the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. Griffin Butler on the reception. Much there, does manage to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that will do it. And they got him. First win of his career as Wenatchee head coach.
What a game tonight. Started off with that kickoff return. Tell us what happened there.
Sure, I just got amazing blocks from my teammates. I had total confidence in them the whole way, and they just set it up beautifully.
Talk about your 2 touchdown catches. Looked like very similar plays on your pattern. Looked like you had that guy no matter what was going to happen.
Yes, sir. That's a super hard route to cover because I'm going deep. It looks like they're going to throw it right over the top and then come back, hit the front pylon. Amazing throw by a quarterback, and yeah. Yep.
What does this mean to get a Big 9 win for your coach tonight? I saw that you had the Gatorade bath for him.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, we expected it. We came out to play. That second half was definitely amazing because we didn't let them have any points. But moving on to Moses Lake next week, I hope we keep the momentum going. So.
Elsewhere in the Columbia Basin Big 9, Eastmont's won on a safety down in Yakima in the very last minute to pull off the victory over the Pirates 22-20. Moses Lake, no problems with Sunnyside. West Valley rolled over Sela in Big 9 play. In the CWAC over the weekend, your winner on Thursday is Prosser, and then on Friday it was Ephrata, Othello, and Toppenish coming out on top. The South Central Athletic Conference over the weekend, it was an easy victory for Cashmere. They had no problems at all in CSAC football. And there's a Cascade, Connell Benton, and Zilla all won. And by the way, Royal defeated Connell, in case you're curious, on Saturday. Caribou Trail League football, you're over the weekend. Blaine crushed Chelan in a non-league action. It was Cascade over Natchez Valley, and Omak beat Colville. Central Washington 2B, your winners on Friday, Okanagan, Brewster, and Libertyville. On Saturday, Warden defeated Tenasket. And the Central Washington 1B looked something like this over the weekend. Wilpinit over Bridgeport, and then on Friday, your winners, Oroville, Antioch, Moses Lake Christian, and Odessa. Prep volleyball scoreboard from over the weekend. A lot of sweeps, a lot of sweeps. Take a look at your favorite team and find out how they did on Saturday. As far as the prep soccer scoreboard for the Big Nine, the winners, Eastmont over Sunnyside, Moses Lake defeated West Valley, and Eisenhower over Davis. More prep soccer over the weekend. There were so many games, we had to create 3 slides. Omak wins. That's not a misprint. Kashmir beat Wapato in soccer 17-0. Grandview victorious. So was Prosser and Sela, and also Quincy over Lakeside at a 9 Mile Falls. Okanagan over Highland. Omak defeated Bridgeport. I told you there was a lot of soccer. Tenasket over Warden, and Pateros defeated Orville 12-1. And can't forget about the Wenatchee Wild. No problems at all on Saturday night. They beat the Seattle Thunderbirds 7-1. Maddox McCarty had a hat trick. In fact, 14 Wild players either scored or had an assist. That's a lot. Wenatchee will welcome Spokane to town this Friday at 7 o'clock, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. At 31 minutes after the hour, happy National Redhead Appreciation Day. Today, to all you gingers out there, red hair is something that only appears naturally in only about 2% of the entire world's population. That is pretty rare. It's a recessive trait that's inherited. That means both parents must have the gene variant in order to contribute to their offspring. But the most important part is those parents don't necessarily themselves have to have red hair to have children with red hair. The rarest combination of them all is red hair and blue eyes. Only 0.17% of the entire world's population. There's about 7.7 billion people on the planet, and only 13 million out of those have red hair and blue eyes. And of course, redheads have a higher risk of skin cancer and have a higher pain threshold. For you redheads, today is your day. Today in history, September 23rd, 1806, they're back. Meriwether Lewis and Bill Clark and the Corps of Discovery get back to St. Louis after exploring the Pacific Northwest. The Corps of Discovery, it took them 555 days to get from St. Louis to the Pacific Ocean. It took only 185 days to go from the Pacific Ocean to St. Louis for 2 reasons. Number 1, they knew the route, and number 2, it was all downhill once you got over the Continental Divide, and they were pretty motivated to make it back home anyway, and they did it on this date 218 years ago. 116 years ago today, the most controversial baseball game ever played. The Polo Grounds, New York City, 1-1, 2 outs, the bottom of the ninth. Mose McCormick is on third. Fred Merkel of the Giants is on first. Al Bridwell slaps a base hit. McCormick scores. The Giants win 2-1. Fred Merkel watches McCormick cross home plate, and then he beelines for the Giants clubhouse and doesn't bother to touch second base. There was a lot of confusion. There was pandemonium. There were fans storming the field. Eventually, the umpires ruled Merkel out on a force play. The winning run is nullified. The president of the National League declares the game a tie. And if the Cubs and the Giants are tied at the end of the National League season, they would replay the game to find out who wins the pennant. And they tied, and they had to replay the game, and the Cubs won the pennant. Fred Merkel, after he retired, he said, you know, when I die, you know what my obituary is going to say? The guy who cost us the pennant. And here is Fred Merkel's obituary from the New York Times. Fred Merkel dies. Giant first baseman's boner in failing to touch second leads to loss of the 08 pennant. And finally, 67 years ago today, That'll Be the Day by Buddy Holly and the Crickets goes to #1 on the Billboard charts. It would be Buddy Holly's only #1 hit. It was released in April, didn't get to #1 till September, but I'm glad it did. Birthdays, speaking of musical geniuses, we got 3 of them for you today. 2 heavenly birthdays, the great John Coltrane. You need to have a Love Supreme in your collection. Giant Steps, Lush Life, Soul Train, Blue Train, his work with Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, the great John Coltrane. The second greatest saxophonist in jazz history. The genius, Ray Charles. Born on this date in 1930, it was Frank Sinatra who gave him the nickname, the great Ray Charles. Oh, the music is so good. The boss, Bruce Springsteen, is 75 years old today. Happy birthday to Bruce. And Jason Alexander, he was nominated for 7 consecutive Emmy Awards for portraying George Costanza. Didn't win one, but he does have a Tony Award. He is 65 years old today. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air, for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Looks like your air conditioner is still going to have to work for about 3 more days. And then it transitions from AC to heat. Make sure your system can handle it. Give Alpine Air a call. Mike Mignotti is coming to terms with his own mortality. We're all going to have to do that. And then it's the first day of autumn. Up to Omi Gardens we go with Bonnie Orr when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Permanent life insurance, as you mentioned in our last conversation, has a great deal of benefits, provided you do the homework, and this is the most important thing, doing your homework. But if you go in that direction, there are some good things about permanent life insurance that people need to consider.
There absolutely are, right? I mean, if you're an individual or a business owner, or you're looking at legacy planning, estate planning, there's tons of different things that you can utilize permanent life insurance for. The inside cash value buildup inside of a policy, the dividends that get credited every single year into that policy are huge, right? Once the policy continues, once you fund money into a policy, it grows tax deferred, and you have access to those funds at any point in time if you needed them. So think of environments of where we're in economically. You have interest rates going up and down. You have all kinds of changes. If you have access to a bucket of money,
it's a hedge.
It's a hedge. At any point in time, you have access to this funds, and you can utilize those funds for anything. So there's some huge benefits. A lot of people will use this as becoming their own bank. Mm-hmm. Why do I take loans from a bank where I have to get approval? I have to go through the board. I can get declined. They're going to look at my debt to income ratios. There's all these things of them saying no. If I have my own money sitting in this account, I can borrow, I can take loans against it, I can do anything I want, and nobody's ever going to tell you no to your own money. You have 100% access to it. So liquidity is a huge, huge issue.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, some of you know my sweet wife Rosie's heart stopped just about a year ago, and thank God a good pal was with her to do CPR, and it saved her life. But another old pal of mine recently died, and I hear that he just collapsed for some reason, and oh gosh, tragically, one of his grandkids found him. Wow, terrible. So considering mortality, now I'm convinced this is not morbid. Considering our mortality is healthy. I really think it's healthy to realize that this is a one-way trip, and ignoring our eventual demise doesn't allow for necessary preparation. And I'm not only talking about the issues of eternal reality. Are our affairs in order? Do we have a will? Do we have an advance directive? Have we arranged for the practical things like making sure the day-to-day issues of our life will be taken care of if we're suddenly gone? That's probably something we should not avoid thinking about. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Well, the autumnal equinox has come and gone. It was early Sunday morning, like 5:24 in the morning. I don't know. I slept in.
You were still asleep.
I was probably still asleep. It's autumn. Autumn is upon us, and we always do these on the equinoxes and the solstices. We visit with Bonnie Orr, our good friend, to let you know what you need to know as we transition from summer to autumn, because it's here. First of all, you look wunderbar as usual.
Thank you, thank you.
Do you not age? How does this work? Do you
Well,
sleep in a jar of formaldehyde?
I do.
Yeah?
Actually, I've been up here. I'm a friend of Omi Gardens,
Mm-hmm.
and so I come up and weed, and that keeps me youthful.
I love this place.
Yeah.
I just love this place. And the new gal's working out. I call her the new gal. She's been here 4 years. Doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Doing a really, really good job. We always begin these conversations with the summer that was, and in a word, it was hot. It was a slightly warmer than normal June, Bonnie. It was a record-setting hot July. It was the 4th hottest July on record, with the average high temperature for the entire month at 95.3. That's insanely hot. Omak went over 100 degrees for 17 straight days. And then August was slightly warmer than normal. All things considered, the hits just keep on coming. We seem to talk about this every year at this time.
Well, I think that it's becoming droughtier and hotter. It's what is happening.
And speaking of droughting, here we go. As we tape this, it's 3.62 inches of rain so far this calendar year. Our normal is almost 5 inches of rain.
But we haven't hit that for like 4 years.
It's been a long, long time.
Yeah. Do you remember the days when we used to have 9 inches of precipitation a year in the early 2000s?
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
We're supposed to, normal at this time of the year is about 5 inches. We only got 3.62 inches, and normally for the calendar year, it's close to 8 inches. That whole normal thing is going to have to be adjusted by the National Weather Service because it's not normal anymore.
No. But
so,
who do we recognize normal?
No, we don't.
So we don't.
You and I are about the least two normal people I know. This is really funny. We started our conversation. Bonnie sent me the notes. I don't know if you can pick this up. She put tomatoes in red. Again, poor tomatoes.
Poor tomatoes.
Talk about that.
Well, when it's over 85 and when it's under 60, tomatoes pout. And so the pollen dries up before the fruit sets. So we didn't have any fruit setting in July. And now the nights are in the 50s. So the tomatoes are sitting there going, oh.
It's been a long time since we had a good tomato year. With this being the new normal, hotter and drier summers, are there some folks who really love to grow tomatoes are just going to have to give it up because they're not doing it anymore?
Well, see, when we can't start it earlier in the season because again the nights are still too cool
and the soil temperature has to be.
The soil temperature is too cool. Yeah.
So sorry, tomato growers.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's always hydroponics, I suppose. Planting trees and shrubs. We've talked about this. This is the time of year to plant your tree.
Absolutely. And because the ground will stay in up to 40 until the middle of November. And as long as the ground is at least 40, the roots will grow. And it doesn't have to worry about being too hot like in the summer, so there's not any wilting. It really is the perfect time.
When you buy a baby plant of any kind at any of the local nurseries, it usually has instructions on how to plant it so it lives. Is that the same way with trees when you buy a small starter tree?
When you buy a tree or a large shrub, the new practice is to wash all of the soil off the roots and lay them out and then make a huge hole. Do not put any other soil in and, any other foreign soil, and then just put it back. But unraveling the roots is really important.
So that's been a new train of thought for a few years now, right?
For about 10 or 12 years, yeah.
Is that because you could be importing soil from Kansas into your
Well, it's not
backyard?
just that, but different types of soils. Water does not move through different types of soil. So you make a swimming pool.
Yeah, and swimming pools are great, but
not
for your trees.
plants.
Transplanting, another thing that you need to do this time of the year.
That's right. This is the time again for the roots to be able to develop. It's the same thing with bulbs. You plant bulbs now because you want all the roots to grow until the ground cools, and so they're ready to vigorously bloom in the spring.
Next up, planting bulbs. You already talked about planting bulbs and perennials.
Yeah.
Also, same philosophy.
Same philosophy. Yeah. And this is the time also to remember the things that you really didn't want to deal with again. I always call it, and I never want to do this again.
Yes.
And I have a swamp milkweed, and it has spread everywhere. Well, this is my fall opportunity to dig it out and get rid of it, because I don't want to deal with it in the spring. And if I wait till the spring, I'll go, oh, It looks pretty good. And then I'll be so sorry.
And once it gets a toehold and starts taking off, it's hard to stay ahead
That's
of it.
right. That's right.
It really is. We don't want that again. Weeding. You were here weeding when I pulled in.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody loves to weed, and by everybody, I mean nobody.
Except for the fact that that's one of the things you get to do as a friend of Home and Garden.
Right.
Get to be a weeder. Well, okay, so one of the great things about fall, the weather is cooler, the soil is moist. This is the time to weed, and when you weed, you get to not have to deal with it in the spring, because there's more interesting things to do in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the time to get rid of those perennial weeds. Okay.
And please get rid of the perennial weeds. Always do that.
like equisetum, morning glory, all those bad guys.
How's your compost pile doing? Are you getting ready to bust that baby out and get
That's
some work
right.
done?
This is the time to move compost into your flower beds. Absolutely, to integrate it into the soil.
Absolutely. Boy, you're just full of good stuff. Leaves. A couple of years ago, I have a big tree in my front yard. I didn't bother. I think what happened is it snowed. We had like a freaky early snow.
Remember that? Yes,
and it covered up the leaves, and I said, out of hell with it. And I wish I had, because it took my yard forever that spring to recover.
Well, okay, so one of the things is taking up the leaves, but you also want to use the leaves. You do not want to put them in black plastic bags and put them on the curb. What you want to do is you want to use them as mulch in your flower beds for a number of really important reasons. One, it enriches the soil. When I put leaves on my flower beds in the spring, there are no leaves because the worms have chewed them all up and taken all of the organic material into my flower beds, enriching my soil. But more than that, it's a place for beneficial insects to overwinter. And one of the things we do, we've developed this ethic about lawns. We grow hundreds of thousands of acres of lawn that we mow every year, and we fertilize and we spray and blah blah blah. And in the fall, we have this ethic of cleaning everything off, so it's so tidy. But unfortunately, by doing that, we destroy the places for beneficial insects to overwinter. And it's the insects and the larvae and the eggs. And of course, there'll be some bad guys in there too. But the beneficial insects, if they don't have to start from zero, will be able to take care of the bad guys. 5% bad guys, 90% good guys. So save seed pods and branches and weeds, and not weeds, leaves, okay? Because that's a place for them to overwinter.
Leaves as they are, regardless of size, or if they're big like maple tree leaves, you need to chew them up a little bit?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, but if you don't want to, don't chew them up.
That works for me. Mulching.
I know. See, I really believe that, okay, and I've been able to successfully overwinter slightly tender plants like calla lilies by mulching, by putting down 8 inches of mulch on the ground, on the flower beds. And again, I'm making an insectary for beneficial insects.
And Bonnie, of course, for those of you who don't know, she grows a winter garden. You plant vegetables in October or so?
No, in August.
In August, and you cover them up with your straw.
And leaves, and
you don't have to do anything.
And harvest all winter long, and it's so wonderful.
Oh, the carrots are just unbelievably flavorful. Watering, obviously, cooler nights, shorter days, cooler temperatures. Back off, baby, right?
That's right. But also, the irrigation water goes off on the 11th of October, and so you probably want to make sure that your trees and shrubs have about 12 inches of water profile, because who knows when the next precipitation's coming.
When they turn the irrigation ditch off, there's some people say, I'll just use my domestic water and hook up a sprinkler just to get it through in case we have another hot period? Or is it once the ditch is off, they just don't even bother anymore?
I think that most trees, even conifers, are wanting to go dormant. They're wanting to settle down. Yeah,
let them go to sleep because they need it. A couple of things we need to talk about. Bonnie does this. She's been doing this for years. She has plants that spend the spring, the summer, and the autumn outside, and they go inside for the winter. But when you bring those plants inside to winterize, sometimes they bring some guests along that you don't want.
That's right, and so you just have to watch very, very carefully. Yeah, and then use soapy water or whatever, but mostly just being observant. Yeah.
Christmas cactus, stop watering.
Yeah, right now. Okay, if you have a Christmas cactus, the things that promote a Christmas cactus to bloom for either Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving cactus, or a Christmas cactus, what it wants to do is the fewer hours of light is one of the stimuluses for blooming, and the other stimulus is droughting.
Okay.
So you don't water it between now until you see the little buds develop.
Okay.
And then when you see the buds develop, you start watering again.
Let's talk about, Bonnie and I are huge fans of birds. We're both Auduboners, if there is such a thing. Our little furry feathered friends, they need help too this time of the year.
Oh, I don't think so. I think there's enough seeds,
You think
insects.
so?
Yeah.
They
yeah.
seem to be really active around my neighborhood lately. They seem to be all over the place. I don't know if this is the time where they start popping out and doing stuff.
Well, migration is still taking place, so birds are moving to winter homes southward.
Mhm.
Okay, so they're probably tanking up on seeds and insects. Yeah.
What else do we need to know this time of the year?
What else do we? Well, I had one other thing I was thinking about, and
how can you read your own handwriting? You should be a pharmacist.
very funny. Okay, I'm finished.
Is that it? We're done?
We're done.
We're done?
But we're going to talk about what's happening at Omi Gardens.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we do that? Before I cut you loose, though, real quickly, Master Gardeners, it's enrollment time again. It's like the best $180 you're going to spend.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You want to talk about that real quick?
Yes. Okay. So going online, you apply online, and then there's a interview period in November, and then the classes are going to be on Friday mornings from January to April.
We're going to take a quick break. Who are we going to get when we come back?
So we're going to get Samantha Segalini, the director of the gardens.
Cool. Samantha's going to join us for a quick little thing that you need to know about Omi Gardens, the crown jewel in North Central Washington, when we come back.
Flessenow is a small village in Germany, the heritage home to the Bruders family. Today, the Bruders family call Leavenworth home and make award-winning wines that celebrate the American dream. New Flessenow Cellars has spectacular views anywhere around the property, so bring your friends to taste award-winning handcrafted wines and seasonal specialties. New Flessenow is perfect for any celebration. From their family to yours, stop by this weekend and experience the charm for yourself.
Here we go. You're just talking to me. Don't worry about the cameras.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back to the program. Somebody has to be in charge of this gorgeous bunch of acreage here on the north side of the Wenatchee Valley, Omi Gardens. And this is Samantha's job, and I think you dig it, because you got a certain vibe about you about this place, don't you?
I do dig it, yeah.
How did the gardens do this year, and especially in July, with all of that heat and all of that wind? Was it difficult for you and your amazing crew to keep ahead of the heat and the wind up here?
Thanks for asking, Dan. The gardens are still alive, and green is still our main color. July was hot and windy. Those 3 weeks of over 100 just kind of zapped this place. But we're surviving, and we're looking forward to the new planting opportunities for next year that this year's heat created.
How much stuff do you take out each year and add on a regular basis? Do you just walk around and say that probably needs to go and something else would work here? How does that whole aesthetic work?
I don't really know how it works, to be honest.
You just let Mother Nature do some stuff?
Yeah. I look for planting opportunities everywhere. And we did lose a couple trees this year. Planting opportunities open right up. When the watering doesn't hit it for a while and it takes us a minute to catch that, a new planting opportunity presents itself. I'm constantly taking away. I don't take away unless it doesn't belong there, but we're mostly adding. We put in about an additional 1,000 plants every year.
When the Omis first did this, 100 years ago now?
Almost
100 years ago. Did they give you a pretty good template because this was nothing.
Yeah.
This was nothing.
Nothing.
But the palette was there for this place to become what it became, didn't it?
It is, yeah. And the list of all of these plants that they had cataloged that they brought in from the Wenatchee National Forest, the Okanagan National Forest, and their original cactus were all from Arizona. The cactus that we have today are native Washington cactus, but we do stick to a pretty Washington National Forest list of plants, and it's fun. It's a good list.
You have a guest book.
Yeah.
What's the number one comment that you see in the guest book from people who maybe have never been here before and they come and visit and they write little notes in the guest book?
Oh, beautiful, so tranquil. Thank you for being here. Hard work. I couldn't imagine doing it. Those kind of things. And we have our guest books. If you've ever been up here, you can find our guest books still from the 1970s. Look up and find that signature that your parents or grandparents did when they visited.
This is not a one-woman show. You have a top-flight group of folks who keep this place as beautiful as possible. You have volunteers, or the Friends of Omi Gardens, but you also have the salaried employees who bust their butt.
Yes.
You want to give them some love?
Of course. Dalen Ingersoll has been working with us for almost 2 whole years now. And he has been really in charge of all of our water features and making sure that when a tree does blow down, that it gets cleaned back up. He makes sure that all of the stones are not wobbly and they're quite safe. And then I've always had interns every summer. Some come from colleges, some come from SkillSource. And it's just a lot of training them on weeds and how to care for plants and deadheading and how to create planting opportunities. And they work really hard through all the heat.
What do you got coming up? Gardens closes mid-October? Is that right?
October 15th.
October 15th,
Yeah.
which is the middle of October. What do people need to know if they haven't been up here yet? First of all, shame on you. What do they need to know between now and the 15th for some events going on, things like that? You've been doing the movie series, which has been a huge success.
Yeah, there are still 3 major events to come up and see. One of them, this Friday night, we're showing Disney's Elemental. It's a great family night to come spread out on the lower lawn and watch a movie. We have another movie on October 11th, which is The Dark Knight, and it's PG-13, so parents use your discretion bringing your children. And then finally, for adults 21 and up only, on October 4th, we do have one more comedy show. The last one did sell out, so get your tickets early.
And one last thing, and I need to mention this, the best deal in town, and it sounds like it's hyperbole, it isn't, is an Omi Garden Seasons Pass. It lasts you for a year. If you buy it on October 1st, it doesn't expire until October 1st of the next year. It's ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
And you can come and go as you please when the park is open.
That's right, yeah. One adult single pass is $40, a couple's pass is $60, and a family pass, which gets everyone inside of your household in for $80 annually.
That's incredible. That's a great deal.
It is, yeah. And you
deal.
bring your guests up for just $5, so all of your friends that are coming with you, they save a couple bucks at the door.
Any work parties coming up? Anything with Make a Difference Day related that we need to know about for volunteers to come up and get this place ready for winter? Or you pretty much got it? I mean, usually you have something going on up here.
Usually there
on the
is
28th.
something for Make a Difference Day. This year's probably just going to be a big weed party.
Okay.
Just a...
I'll bring the Doritos.
Okay.
And we'll have a good time with that. All
there
right.
will be a snack bar.
Make a Difference Day is the 28th of October, I
October
believe.
28th.
So,
Yes. Some years it's cold and rainy. Some
Right.
years it is a gorgeous morning.
Yeah.
But I think we'll just come and we'll pull and bucket out as many weeds that we can.
Samantha, thank you for spending some time with us. I know you're busy.
Oh no, thank you for having me, Dan.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see you. If you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we'll be right back. Well, we're gonna have a big
weed party.
Yeah. We're gonna play some Cheech and Chong movies. We're gonna, got some Allman Brothers.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
All right, let's send you on your way with the weather forecast. Sunny and unseasonably warm today, high of 85, 60 for the overnight low tonight, 88 on Tuesday, close to a record high, but not quite there. Things start changing Wednesday afternoon, very windy Wednesday afternoon. It's going to be very sunny and very warm, but boy, by the time we get to 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, big time wind on Wednesday. That ushers in some cooler air, back to where we should be temperature-wise by the time we get to Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.